Well, folks, we got the one and only Jim Gale. Jim and I go back, my goodness, 11, 12 years, something like that. He was living in Costa Rica down in Osa, which is one of the most beautiful places in Costa Rica. If you like wildlife and you like colorful birds and monkeys and alligators and crocodiles, that's where you want to go. You want to go down to Osa. But anyway, and that's like right on the border of what you call it down there, Panama, right?
Yep, it's about an hour north.
An hour north of Panama. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. I've driven through there when I used to go down to get my passport stamped until I decided to apply for residency. This way, I'd have to do this a trip every 90 days, which was a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
Well,
I remember those trips.
oh yeah, absolutely. And Jim, he runs a farm. It's all perennial. He'll explain exactly how that works. He runs a website called foodforestabundance.com. He is literally off the grid. He produces his own energy. He could tell anybody basically to screw off, and tell them a little bit about that. And then I'm going to go into playing my trailer of the movie that's coming out, Dear Mr. President, Show Me the Money, which is a movie about the straw man. You know a lot about that from the late what's his name, David Strait, who's in the movie, by the way. We got a few clips of him in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, bottom line is, I realized about 19 years ago that I was a slave. And the minute I realized it, I made a declaration to myself that I will be a slave no longer. I have not paid income tax, and we built our family homestead without asking for permission. We literally built our whole thing without getting permits because I'm not a slave. And we cannot have freedom and pay rent on our land like serfs to an entity that is allowing us to be poisoned. Not just allowing, they're actually paying for it, right? So we have never paid taxes on this land, and we are standing with faith and courage in defiance of a system that is radically corrupt and killing life on earth. And so there's a lot going on, right? I mean, just a tremendous amount of good things are happening. The awareness is exploding. And this is our fundamental strategy. Our strategy is not just to tell the government to screw off. Our strategy is to be a great value to our land, our family, our community, and our broader community outside these walls. And so what we do is we grow a lot of extra food, and we help our neighbors grow food during a food supply chain collapse, mind you, which is an extra good idea. What do you think about that, Mel?
Well, it sounds like a plan, brother, because I know that a lot of us, because we're so stuck in our cog, if you will, our wheel, right? We got to go buy the food that's says it's organic, but is that package just says organic and it's really not that organic? I think so. I think that organic has just become a word and nothing more. So I don't know what we're putting in our bodies. The only thing I do know is that people are getting sicker and sicker, and we're trying to beat them. And the only way to beat them really is the way you do it. But nobody's got time because they got a full-time job, they got a part-time job, they got two full-time jobs, they got kids, they got nannies. Both husbands and wives are both working just to keep their heads above water. It's become such a situation where we need the reevaluation of wealth so that we can throw a lot of money at your projects, because your projects are humanitarian in nature, and really take down the man, if you will.
That's exactly right. And the ultimate investment right now, from my perspective and from my actions, is taking all of the energy and being the steward of the land, right? Planting seeds and building soil and nurturing bees and growing fruit trees and berry bushes and all of these beautiful things all around us. This is the ultimate wealth. It's God's wealth. And when we take a little bit of our attention and put it into stewardship and service of our land and other people, the return on investment is exponential.
Absolutely. And I live in an area where it's a very, very wealthy, affluent neighborhood, but I drive down the street. There's only one way in, one way out. I'm on an island, right? And there are people that are very wealthy who have, like, 50, 60 mango trees, and they got a sign on their front lawn saying, "Hey, buy our mangoes," right?
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that. Why would you want to buy a mango from the supermarket where it's sprayed with pesticides, where you could buy it from your neighbor at probably one third less the cost, and it's not poisonous? It makes no sense. But anyway, needless to say, look, there's a lot of work to be done. I just told you, hey, it looks like they forgot to spray you today. It looks like you got clear skies behind you.
Yep.
And nevertheless, tell us a little bit about the situation you're in. You're allowed to talk about the situation you're in with the local county there that's trying to take your house.
Yeah, see. That's the funny. I love your language. Are you allowed to talk about it? I will never have my voice stifled. So nobody allows me to do anything. I allow myself based on discernment and what's good for myself, my family, and our world. So what happened is Mercury Funding LLC paid my taxes in 23 and 24, and I think again in 25. We just got a notice in the mail the other day. Their goal. So what happens is the county puts out word, or somebody puts out word that these people have not paid their real estate tax. Then these entities that are scavengers, they're very wicked, evil scavengers. They will pay the taxes with, and here's how it works: they get a guaranteed ROI on the money that they pay, and if they don't receive that money back, then they can foreclose on the property and steal the entire asset. And then they hire the sheriff to do the dirty work. So it's a collaboration between all of these entities, private and public entities, to defraud and steal from the American people. And in places like China and many other places, they don't have any such thing. You pay one time and you're good forever, right? So here in America, we are slaves and we have been lied to. Goethe said, none are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. And what we are sitting on right now is literally the only path to freedom. No path that anybody else talks about can miss this point. When we have food everywhere, when we have food forests and stewardship and fruit trees and berry bushes and hanging grapevines, the Garden of Eden everywhere must be a fundamental communication point for anybody who actually wants to do good for the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to thank you publicly for coming to the Junior Summit. That was awesome. You did great on stage. You took a full 30 minutes and you let them know up front, hey, Mel told me I got 30 minutes. I'm not going to go coming off stage in less than 30 minutes. It was
Yeah.
funny how nobody wanted to get off stage. Everybody
Yeah.
wanted to, hey, can I get an extra 5 minutes? And they would take an extra 10 minutes on top of that. And
Yeah.
and 107 stayed there till 11:30 at night talking to the crowd. There was a crowd of like hardcore followers of 60 people, and they would not leave. If he would have stayed till 2 o'clock in the morning on stage talking, they would have stayed. I mean, it was that hardcore. But anyway, guys, we got to pay the bills around here. QFS1776.com/shop. There's things there that you need that I use myself, and also there's an education there that's completely free of charge on the new financial system that's coming. And do not get bamboozled into, hey, you got to register your XRP with the quantum financial system. That's a freaking hoax. That's a scam. Okay. Once you move your money into this new quantum financial system wallet, which is a scam, the thieves are never going to give it back. Also, carminesgold.com. I just sold $500,000 worth of silver. Okay. And we're about to sell $1 million worth of silver. We're literally in the negotiation stages. It could close as early as today, tomorrow. Okay. So I could get you a tremendous amount. Now on the silver, unfortunately, if you want, buy a little stack of silver, go around the corner of your house. I'm sure there's a silver shop. Buy it there. We're not doing anything less than $50,000, and there is no maximum. I could still get you the silver. Ironically enough, I mean, I'm shocked that we actually can, to be quite honest with you. And staying alive.com, staying alive with 2 E's. Okay. If you happen to be in the area in Cape Canaveral, come charge the body. The body wants to be recharged. As a matter of fact, you're coming down. You and your wife, you're invited down to come down for a full night. Hopefully, you'll take advantage of that.
Yes.
And you'll thank me in the morning because when you wake up and your cells are recharged, you'll know what this is all about. Okay, just like the Tesla battery, the Tesla car, your body is electric. It needs to charge. Okay. And so when you pull into the charging station called stayingalive.com in Cape Canaveral with 2 E's, you'll know what that's all about. And I can prove it. If your surgeon wants to put a pacemaker in your chest, that pacemaker runs on what? Electricity. Bingo. I proved my point that the body is electric.
Yes. And by the way, the QFS, your summits, the people that I meet there and just the energy, the vibe, they're my favorite talking events of any speaking events that I do. And I do a lot of them.
Yeah. No, I've been told that, we got it dialed in for sure. And now we're about to launch the movie, Dear Mr. President, that shows the biggest scam in the world. And you have nothing. Your parents are being bamboozled, okay, into being the parents. They're renting you to the state. Parent. You see the word? They bamboozled us with words. Parent. They're renting you to the state, and they're trading your social security number, your slave number, on a corporation that's dead because it's a corp. It's a corporation. Corpses are dead. So they have a twin of you that's dead that they're trading on the stock market, and they're making billions and trillions on your backs, and you're all worth 200 million, 300 million, 500 million, $1 billion, some of you, and you're waking up to go to work in the morning.
Yep.
Okay, so let's play that real quick. I think the audience will get a kick out of this. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Don't you dare scroll! What if I told you you're already worth hundreds of millions of dollars?
And they're hiding it from you for your entire life. Not a theory, not a guess, actual proof.
Everything you think you know about money is a lie. Everything you were taught in school was designed to keep you blind, stupid, and programmed.
Every time you signed your name, every contract, every form, every loan, you weren't just agreeing, you were funding a system that's been profiting off you. They created a twin of you, a legal version, an all caps identity. That's traded like a financial instrument, a bond, generating interest on top of interest on your life. Your energy, your work, your existence turned into profit, but not for you. Your government knows. Big Pharma knows. The hospitals know.
The system is broken. It's working exactly how it was designed, just not in your favor. Garish?
This film was made at a 3rd and 4th grade level. Not because you're dumb, but because we've all been dumbed down, stripped of truth, buried under complexity. That ends now. Dear Mr. President, show me the money. A film that exposes in precise, undeniable detail what they prayed you'd never question.
If it pisses you off, good. It means you're waking up.
If it makes you uncomfortable, that's the truth knocking. This movie was intended to hit you hard. If you feel like you have to tell everyone you know, then it did exactly what it was engineered to do.
Because if enough people see it, understand it, and move on it, there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of explaining to do, and heads will roll.
The question isn't whether this is real. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Sit back or stand up? Will you claim what's yours? Will you demand answers? Will you finally stop playing small in a game built on your value? Now it's your move, because in the end, humanity wins, and ultimately, God wins.
So anyway, that's pretty much it. Look, Donald Trump right now is moving. Donald Trump right now is moving on. Let me stop sharing. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Donald Trump right now is moving on the arrest. So I'm really wrestling to try and come out with a perfect date to launch this. I don't want to get overshadowed by arrests, even though that would be a welcome thing at this point because the arrests are going to happen. You see him posting 2 days ago, Frank Sinatra, and now the end is near.
Yeah, I did see something like that. Yeah.
He is torturing his enemies. I love it.
Yep.
It's coming, bro. I'm telling you, a lot of people, hey, listen, I'm the most impatient person in the world. Okay. And I know that you have to have a lot of patience for this. They've been screwing us for 125 years, and now everybody wants everything done in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That's not the way the world works.
I'm excited to hear, but I'm not going to wait for it. But I'm excited to hear Donald Trump say, now it's time to follow JFK's advice. It's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. It's
Sure.
time for Donald Trump to actually have faith in the people and not say to sit down and eat popcorn and trust the plan, but because we can never have freedom unless the people come together and start caring for our land and each other again, right?
Yeah.
And that's what Donald Trump, that's the one thing he's missing, and it's a big miss. In fact, it makes me question the whole narrative, but the bottom line is when Donald Trump says, people, it's time to start taking out the poisons, right? When there's no more chemtrails, when there's no more poison at the supermarket, when there's no more poisons in the lakes and rivers, then and only then will I say, oh, okay, well, then good. But it's not up to him, it's up to us, right? This is the fundamental thing. We cannot wait for a savior. We are the savior, right? I'm a Christian because I grew up and I love the teachings of Christ. The churches, not so much, right? The teachings of Christ are the kingdom of heaven is within us, and it's up to us to be the caretakers and stewards of each other and our land. And when we do that, then we earn our freedom.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I got to tell you something. July 4th at this point can't come fast enough. Um, look, I've been a fan of Donald Trump for a long time. We want to make another movie where he meets with the generals. He's coming down the escalator. He's got the sign that says, currency exchange. And we're going to tie in the entire new financial system into the Q movement up until present time. And this will be the perfect time to start on the movie. Why? Because the arrests are coming. Imagine being able to put the arrests portion of the story in the movie itself. That would be a finale, right? That's how we want it all to end. So we're going to be working hard on that. We got some software that's extremely expensive, artificial intelligence software that we can make it look like there are actors in the room that are actual soldiers with Donald Trump talking. It's like next level, but this is not cheap software. And that movie is definitely not going to be $5.89. I can assure you that. All right. All right. That's going to be more like $17.95 or something like that. But anyway, needless to say, it's we live in the most epic times, dude. So what's front and center now for your journey going forward with the county, etc.?
Well, with the county, so I'm working with Colbus, and by the way, thank you for really pushing that introduction. My awareness is that there's so many scams within the system that I'm not putting up with any bullshit. And Colbus is such a great guy, and we had a really good chat. And I'm going to the county tomorrow and doing another quitclaim deed, and I'm going to refine some of the details on this. Ultimately, I am declaring that this is my land to protect and serve and care for. It's my family's homestead. And we have a strategy that is unbeatable. Right? I've already won. And here's why. It's very logical. And the Charlie Kirk phenomenon proves my point. And I know there's a lot of stories about that, but let's not get caught up on the truth of that. I want to just point to something. When he was killed, or when that event happened, the awareness of his message went exponential. Now people all over the world know who he is. Well, this is why they're not messing with me. They're censoring me. They've taken me off of all sorts of platforms, because my message, like, I love it how you can hear Tucker Carlson and all these Joe Rogan and all these influencers talk like crazy. And what I'm saying is similar stuff to them, except for I'm adding one thing. It's up to you and I to grow food, to build soil, and to help our communities. And that is the part that's being censored.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Isn't it
So,
funny? Isn't it
yeah.
funny that I sent you that video on Abigaine, that drug, that psychedelic drug that cures almost a lot. It cures anxiety, it cures addiction, it cures alcoholism, it cures if you want to get off cigarette smoking, you can get off of that. It does a lot of great stuff. But they put it under some Schedule C back in the 70s and they swept it under the rugs and nobody saw it ever again. But it works. And you know about it.
I sure do.
So
I had
Donald Trump is making some progress. You got to give him some credit. Hey, look, this is a man. Would you want to be in his shoes?
I'm running for president, brother.
You are?
Yes, I have all the details, all the facts, all the stuff. I'll send you the litany of solutions that we have. So, no, I don't want to be in his shoes. I want to be in my shoes because I would not trade shoes with anybody in the world, quite frankly.
Well, let me tell you something. I think Donald Trump is going to get a third term. So you might have to wait another 6 years, 6.5 years.
Oh, no,
and that's okay.
I'm here's the deal. I've already won because everybody that hears the message and that takes action, like right now, you're growing sweet potatoes.
Yes.
Right. And I see that's the whole point is I don't want a job. I don't believe in government. I don't believe in any of it. But the message is what I believe in. The message is stewardship and service with faith and courage and transparency. Yeah. Right. We don't have any secret plans. Our plan is let's help people create abundance for themselves and their families. And then when we achieve mass adoption of stewardship and service and faith and courage, right, which, by the way, is not very hard to do because it's a win-win-win. Everybody wins. And Donald Trump is invited. In fact, I'm excited to go to Mar-a-Lago with you, like we talked about, and bring him a fruit tree, an olive tree, and some sweet potatoes and say, Donald, you're missing one thing here, brother. And that is that it's up to the people. It's time for you, Trump, to have faith in the people and get the people to actually support their own transformation, their own.
Totally.
Right.
When you came to the Quantum Summit, you met a lot of great people like Michael Jaco, other big podcasters, and you've been on their shows. So you have this the same arsenal that Mel Carmine has. We should be able to recruit like thousands of people to go to Mar-a-Lago and literally with signs until we get his attention. We got to figure out when he's going to be there and do it. I'm all in. But I got to tell you, I think you'll see Donald Trump's third term. I think maybe Eric Trump will run as president or Trump Jr. They're going to win, and they have to appoint a vice president. They appoint Dad as the vice president. Nothing illegal about that. They resign as president. Trump gets a third term. Wow. And that's what it's going to take to fix a lot of the stuff. That's a possibility. Okay, that's one. What do you think about all the artificial intelligence and all the robots coming out and the universal basic income? A lot of people say, oh, universal basic income is going to make a lot of people lazy. Bullshit. They could grow a farm.
So the idea of universal basic income. So we have UBI, but it's not in the form of fiction or fiat or digits. It's in the form of seeds and starts and plants. So the universal basic income that we are bringing to the world, shining a light on, right? And by the way, we're not really bringing it. It's already here. Right. We're simply shining a light on the only true UBI. And that is a Garden of Eden landscape where everybody has access to food and clean water, and there's life and energy everywhere. Right. So as regarding AI, there's one solution to the fact that almost all the white collar jobs are gone. They're going to be taken. They already are being taken. Hundreds of thousands a month are being sucked out right now. Right. While people are at their wits' end with debt, we have higher debt, higher mortgage foreclosure, higher car repossessions than any time in history. Correct. And so what's going to happen when nobody has any food? And the food supply chain is being collapsed as we speak. Right now, it's going to become apparent to everybody that we need to start growing food. So here we are, inspiring and empowering and showing people exactly how easy it is. Right. So I'm proving this. I live in a food production system that is absolutely epic, and anybody can come visit and talk to me about it.
Yeah, how do they find you, Jim? How do they get a hold of you?
Galt's Landing.farm. It's that's our website. It's GALTS, like John Galt. It's Galt's Landing.farm. Or they could email me at Jim P. Gale, that's GALE, at gmail.com.
Perfect, perfect. And so you're training you're training your kids to grow food. You got a school system brewing on the property itself. People
Yeah.
people can send their kids to schools. Now, see, that would be if Mel Carmine had kids. I can assure you that that would be a school that I would want to send my kids to. Why? Because they're learning something useful, not how to be a slave of the state.
There you go. This is so useful. So our students at school, they learn stewardship and service and entrepreneurship at school by actually starting a business. The model, you can get a hold of me and I'll share with you the model. And by the way, everything we do is open source, and it's creating a massive wave of energy and attention and solutions out into the world, which, by the way, people are good. In general, people are good natured. People want to get along and want to help and want to support. I'm blown away every day by the kindness of people. Of course, there's bad people too, but in general, they're awesome. So that's why we're doing it the way we're doing it, because people have literally supported us massively because of our energetic givingness, right? So the students grow food. They learn how to then sell food at the local farmers markets and stuff. And can you imagine a school that it's in Florida, the money follows the kid, right? So up to 10 grand a year can follow the student. So a student can create a homeschool co-op or a family in every neighborhood. And it's like a private school, but it doesn't cost the parents any money. And the parents receive the food that the kids grow at school. So it's a school that pays the family.
It's a closed loop situation. It's sort of a recycling bin, and it just comes full circle. It's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, and listen, the problems of the world are complicated, but they're so simple to fix. They really are.
You nailed it, brother.
They're so simple to fix. And I always say Donald Trump can't do this by himself. He's handling the farmer situation. I made a movie. If you go to dearmrpresident.net, the link will be down below, dearmrpresident.net, you can watch my first movie free of charge. People thought I was in the documentary business for 29 years. I never did a documentary in my life. And it was amazing, right? About free speech. So now Donald Trump signed an executive order saying to the social media companies, you can no longer stifle people's free speech. This is the Republic of America, not the corporation. We're moving into restoring the Republic, and we are. But the social media platforms, who are trillion-dollar companies, they're thumbing their nose at the rule of law and saying, "Screw you, Trump. We're not abiding by that rule. Stick it up your ass." Because Mel Carmine is still being stifled today. So you know what Mel Carmine does? I made an announcement at the Junior Summit that I'm starting my own social media company. I got all the pieces. I got all the programmers. I got all the project managers. I just got to say, go, and it gets done. Okay? And in 2 or 3 months, I guarantee you, there'll be a tube1776.com that's going to share the wealth like you can't believe. Commercials are going to go away. You have to literally click on the commercial if you like the offer on the thumbnail to watch the commercial, but we're not going to interrupt your programming, and we're never going to stifle you. And whatever the compensation plan is for the podcasters like Nino Rodriguez and Gary Frenchie and all these, Benny Johnson and all these big monsters, because they'll make millions of dollars a month with us. Why would you want to be at YouTube making $28,000 a month when you can make $2.8 million a month with Mel Carmine?
I love your model. You told me about it at the QFS, and I think it's a model that we were actually It's perfect. And I'm
Hey,
glad
you know
you're
what?
doing
I will advertise you food forest abundance, and I will fund 10,000 people when that thing gets off the ground to come and learn. And you'll have to get the adjacent property and build that into a farm because you won't have enough room, my friend. I will throw money at you like a drunken sailor.
Well, the good news is we don't. It's all decentralized for us. I don't want to be famous, although I get what's happening. I just know that nobody else has the awareness or the courage to say no and the way we're doing it. And at the same time, the strategy of stewardship and service is so powerful that they don't know what to do with me. Because if they harm me, then the message goes hyper viral. And so I've got them by the balls. And I want to invite all of them. I want to invite all the Trump folks and everybody to do one simple thing.
Right.
Start taking care of your land and start taking care of each other.
Yeah.
Invest some of that energy that we're storing, not in the fictional world, but in the real world. And that will be the best investment you ever make. And that is investment advice.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know the fact that the kids are growing the food. If you had enough land, you only got like 46 acres there, right, or 48 acres.
Yeah, 51. Yeah.
51. Okay. So I don't know if you have enough land to set up a little miniature farmers market and put a sign on the main road, say farmers market every Sunday between, 8 o'clock and 2 o'clock, right? And people will just come off the main road and come buy some fruits and vegetables from the kids who are going to school that are learning how to grow the fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, check this out, brother. So what we did is I knocked on the doors of the retailers in St. Cloud, Florida, that have little farmers market businesses, like full-time brick and mortar. And I said, we've got a school where the kids are growing food. Would you be okay if we did a 50-50 split and sold some of the food that the kids grow here at your store? Every one of them said, absolutely, I would love to. So we don't even need to do that. We work with the current infrastructure. We become the growers. And by the way, everybody listening, everybody can do this. We can help. If you've got land anywhere, we can help design your land to be productive. We can add in the school component, mushroom growing, all of the different components, and you could turn your land into productive land.
Yeah. Two of the projects that I'm tackling next with my podcasting career here is I'm getting into the peptide business. I'm talking to a doctor down in Tijuana that's reversing all kinds of stuff. People flying from all over the world to go see this guy. And I'm about to talk with this doctor. And I could tell you that peptides are going to increase lifespan by at least 25, 30 years immediately. Number one. All kinds of things. Number two, like I said, if there's a situation, if there's something that needs to be corrected, you're taking care of the farming, teaching the kids farm. You got a problem with the chemtrails? Start a podcast on chemtrails. Go hang out at your governor's mansion. Be a thorn in his side. Let's get these chemtrails out of our skies. Okay. Until we all come together, I'm going to destroy the situation where people can no longer speak freely. On the Mel Carmine channel, you will be able to speak as freely as you want, as long as there's no sex or no bedtime stories from transtestical people, and no no death threats. Okay, those are the only three. You're not going to read a bedtime story to my kid if you're a transgender person and you're fucked in the head. Okay, no sexual stuff and no death threats. Other than that, you can talk about anything. You want to start a channel and recruit Muslim people, which I'm not crazy about the extreme Muslim religion. Go right ahead. Give me your money, and then if I have to fight you, I'll use your money to fight you. Period.
Free speech, brother. We can't have
this is a fight, bro.
Without the ability. It is a fight. And Gandhi, for instance, he was a smart dude. He took down colonialism, and he said, I'm not against war. War just isn't the best way to accomplish my goals, right? And I feel the exact same way. I was a fighter, and I got the ear, cauliflower ear to show it. I realized that there's one idea stronger than all of the armies and all of the trauma in the world. and that is stewardship and service, earth care and people care. When we come together around that, this because the Muslims, the Jews, the Christians, the independents, all of the people agree on these two things. It's good to take care of our earth, and it's good to take care of each other. And when you say that as directly, and when you start sharing your surplus, past religions and aisles and politics, it changes people. It heals the trauma.
Well, listen, brother, they've created all of these vacuums. They thought they were going to be in charge. They thought they were going to own the future. They're not going to own the future. We will own the future. We
Yes.
will be the dominant players here. We're not the meek. We're not the weak. We're the strong. Because some of us who have some testosterone left are standing up and saying enough is enough. Okay, and we're not taking it anymore, and we're moving forward on fixing shit. And we're not the kind of people that just say, if you get in our face, we're going to get in your face. No, we actually are showing it with action.
Yes.
You push, we're going to push harder. You get in our face, we're going to get in your face. We're not backing down.
Yep. That's exactly right. As people say, Jim, how could you even think to run for president? Well, it's very simple. We have all of the solutions. We have retail reform. I went directly at Home Depot, Walmart, and Lowe's, and I said to them, we have a product, a compost tea, that, by the way, you can make off of rain catchment and whatever you have locally, that will take away the Roundup and the poisons that you're selling. It has a better ROI, so it's better for you as a business, and it creates life instead of death, right? We have HOA reform, going after the HOAs, saying you have lost any moral authority. You cannot tell us how we can use our land because you spray poisons, which are proven killers in courts of law, right? We have education reform. We have prison reform, where the inmates are growing food at prisons, which, by the way, results in healing and a massive reduction in recidivism. We have all of the strategies and tactics and techniques to literally bring about the golden age.
But then you're going to live a happy, healthy life, and they don't want that. They want you to live a miserable life with missing teeth, decaying internally from all the poisons that they give us to keep us sick, to keep us on this treadmill, so that we can give whatever money we make all to the pharmaceutical industry, and they're going to rule our life forever. We're changing that. Staying alive, frequency, vibration, and sound, and eating healthy, and all the beautiful things that you could do in life are going to change all of that.
Yeah, 100%. And everybody wins. They act like, this is my little food forest area here. And, this is after a 117-year freeze. Is that beautiful or what?
Yep.
And now this was brown just a couple months ago. There was nothing living here, it seemed like. And now it's exploding to life, right?
And you're utilizing everything, right, Jim? You're even utilizing your own human feces to put back into the ground.
We have a revolutionary septic system here that costs half as much. It takes up half the space, and the byproduct is plant food.
And you're also making methane gas with it.
Yeah, we have other ones that make methane gas where I use that to cook with. So, and by the way, if anybody out there wants to be part of this, if you're an investor or you just want to do this at home, then get a hold of us. We'll just share information with you. And if the information is valuable and you feel like donating or contributing some cash back, great, right? That's how we operate. And it's exponential, the abundance that it's creating. It's a lot of fun too.
I don't know if I should title this video, Jim is cooking with his own shit.
Yeah, right? Freedom,
I mean, that's amazing, bro. Like when you show me that you're when you flush the toilet, it goes into this thing, and then it goes into that thing, and then you're producing methane gas and you're cooking with that gas. I'm like, mind blowing. Who else has got that in Florida?
Now, talk about a free energy system. Tesla eats your heart out, man. I got a shit system that's providing free energy.
Right, that runs on shit, literally and figuratively.
Yep, and every fruit tree that we have. And this is so interesting how deep the PSYOP goes. every single plant around me. I've got sugarcane and bamboo, and I mean, a lot of different stuff. It's all a free energy system. And I mean
Yeah.
that literally, right? You could turn sweet potatoes and sugar into gas, into fuel, and it also produces calories that humans run on.
Yeah.
And it's also
Yeah, I'll give you a great humanitarian projects to all the people who purchased XRP from me, which there are hundreds of thousands of families. Even though not all of them are opted into me, they listen to Mel Carmine on a regular basis. Okay, all of you people, you know who you are. You're about to become multi-billionaires, multi-trillionaires, multi-hundred millionaires, whatever. You want to put your money into something that's worthwhile. This is what you do. You bring in a bunch of guys that want to learn how to become Jim Gale, and you create 100 coaches that go off and create their own farms to teach more kids and more kids, like multi-level marketing. And next thing you know, not only the pharmaceutical industry goes out of business, the food industry goes out of business. Wouldn't that be something? Would be able to go down the street and say, hey, because of Mel Carmine and Jim, they got together after the revaluation came. We threw a lot of money at Jim to create 100 coaches exactly like him. And now we got 100 farms in Florida that you could drive right down the street and buy your sweet potatoes and your zucchini and your tomatoes and whatever, because somebody did something about it.
It's supply and demand. When the supply of food is what it should be, the cost of food will literally be your ability to get off your ass off the couch and go pick it, right? Every backyard, every prison, every school, every HOA community common area, all lawns, right? And this will literally, it'll solve the AI problem because of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Because
Exactly.
when people are stressed, they can't think creatively to solve problems. When
Right.
people have access to food, then at no price, which is actually healthy, boom, we
Yeah,
win.
when you have food and you have shelter, you grow your own food. You produce your own food. You can your own food. You have enough for many winters to come. You have your huge garage full of jars that you've jarred all kinds of stuff for eons to come.
Yep.
And you're hanging out there grounding with your feet. You're probably not wearing any shoes right now. You probably got your feet in the dirt. What is there left to do? Well, why don't we go play some, go on the lake? You got a 400-acre lake over there. Why don't we go on a jet ski and go play around and fuck off a little bit?
Yeah, right?
What's wrong with that?
That's the life that is next, right?
What is wrong with that?
That's it. That's the life that I'm living now. I mean, I'm going to go kayak fishing here in a little bit. And I just got into kayak fishing and I'm completely hooked. It's so beautiful.
People say, well, if you give people basic universal, no, if you give people basic universal income, you teach them how to grow their own food and build their own rammed earth house. Go look it up. That's another thing that I'm going to put out there. Rammed earth. There's a video that even has all of the studies that if you want to download the studies and go to City Hall, they did all of the studies for you. Okay. That actually shows that this compound that you're basically mimicking Mother Nature, you're taking dirt, you're compacting it into rock form, is stronger than the homes that we live in right now by a factor of 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you don't need heating, you don't need air conditioning, you don't need nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. They're gorgeous. Rammed earth. Go look it up. You'll have a field day once you go down that rabbit hole, and you can learn how to build your own house. If you got a family of handy people, your house will cost you 90% less than if you have to. Obviously, if you have to have people hired to build it, it'll probably cost you maybe 30% less, but you still have to pay something, right? But
yeah. Well, the bottom line is the earth has all that we need.
Yes.
We need to take our energy back into stewardship and care for this Mother Earth. And Mother Earth will literally heal all of us. It'll heal the divide. It'll help people who are mental. Like a lot of problems in prisons and schools are because the kids aren't getting nutrients and they can't think properly.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
All of a sudden their brains heal. And this has all been studied.
And then they put them on Ritalin.
Yeah. Yes. Everything I'm saying, like these campaign strategies, that's another thing we're doing in fact, we're really dealing with some major players. The former Speaker of the House here in Florida and some major players are very much looking at our campaign strategies that are based not in environmentalism, but in fiscal foundation. Like, this is not just environmental philosophy and a nice thing to do for the land, which is, by the way, really important, but it's actually the fiscal infrastructure that will literally bring about the golden age.
Absolutely. Let's play the last trailer and then we're going to close it out here, guys. Make sure you go to dearmrpresident.net. Go watch the movie, the first one. If you didn't see it, that's a freebie. This one's going to cost a whopping $5.89. Okay. 0.117 of a penny. You guys know who you are. All right. Here we go. I'm about to tell you a story that is going to absolutely piss off a lot of people in the United States of America. What if everything you've ever known is a lie? Because I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that we've been bamboozled in ways that you can't even imagine. From the creator who dared to question everything in Dear Mr. President comes a revelation so explosive it will shatter your perception of reality. This is the biggest scam ever, and your government, it thinks that you are stupid.
And the whole fake system is set up. It's all fake.
The straw man, the greatest heist in history. Before your first breath, a covert system claimed you a ghostly double made of paper, a financial slave in a world you can't even see.
The straw man. I am not that fucking straw man. That's not me. I am not all cap letters. I am me.
They've used your name as currency, trading your life in a game rigged from the start. Basically, when you're born, they put some little ink underneath your feet, and they give you the all caps name on your social security or social slave number, okay? And that's exactly what you are. That is your bond number. Every document, every signature, every debt is an elaborate illusion. You go get a marriage license, it's a bond. You get divorced, it's a bond. You get a driver's license, it's a bond. You get a fishing license, it's a bond. You get a hunting license, it's a bond. You get a ticket, that ticket gets traded. Driver's license, insurance, all of this nonsense. These are all bonds that are being traded in your name, and they're making billions and trillions of dollars. Once you know the truth, you hold the power to choose. The system will fight back. It will try to silence you, erase you. The choice is yours. This movie is going to rock the foundations of every government out there. I'm telling you. You know why? Because when people see it, we made it so elementary deliberately because we want everybody to be able to understand it, that they'll have no choice but to pass it on forward because everybody needs to wake up. Shit. I mean, look, if you're worth $100 million or $200 million or $500 million, wouldn't you want to know? I want to know. Hey, if that's my money, I want my money.
Yeah, and we know the dollar's dead, right? And you're absolutely right. That whole system is transforming right now before our eyes. The dollar is on the way out, and it will be replaced. And you've been talking about that for a long time, brother.
Brother, we're in the middle of the reset. We're in the middle of the biggest dance in the financial history. We're about to get the biggest facelift in finance ever worldwide. And people still don't own XRP. It blows my mind. It blows my mind because you know what? Just 1,000 XRP could be like tremendous.
Yeah.
You know, just 1,000. If you own 10,000, or I got two very demanding dogs from Costa Rica. Want to go out. But anyway, brother, it's always a pleasure. I'll send you a copy of this if you want to put it on your channels. By all means.
Please do, brother. I sure will.
You got it, my friend. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.